Hi, my dear Leo friends. Here is your yearly forecast for 2022. I've put plenty of work to put these videos together, so please share your love, press like, subscribe to the channel. And if you are interested in studying astrology with me, go on my website, AstroViktor.com, and check out the subscription plan. You can get up to 3 webinars a month for the price of one, basically, as well as many other discounts which you are entitled. Now, the year, on one hand, it's gonna get better. On the other hand, some of you might still be having some type of challenges. The reason being is because if you have got your rising sign between 12 to 22 degree, then Saturn will be opposing you. Or if you have got your sun between 12 to 22 degree, then still the sun will be opposing you. So Saturn influence. So if you have got the sun sign in the sign of Aquarius, then Saturn sun opposition talk about being challenged by authority figures, being challenged in a relationship, a group of people or a single person or by a friend of yours, but somehow you get tested. You get tested in a sense that, are you trustworthy? Are you telling the truth? Or it could be just some of the internal blockages within you, such as I'm not good enough, I feel depressed, I don't feel that I'm worthy enough, I don't know where my life is going at the moment. It could bring challenges in communication with authority figures, or maybe someone who is older. It might be a challenge with your father, actually, or just a father figure in your life. It is about a little bit, there is this melancholic aspect to this. It's about being held back. You feel that your freedom is not given to you. You can't do what you want to do. You might feel that you've got way too much responsibility going on in your life, and you just don't know how to get rid of them, or not even rid of them, getting rid of them, but how to tackle them all in once. Now, oppositions talk about relationship challenges. So one of the ways you can actually tackle all the responsibilities what you've got is getting your partner involved, if they show some willingness to do that. Also, this Saturn Sun opposition can actually show that you can't really count on your partner, or you can't really rely on your co-workers or your bosses, because they just give you the tasks to carry out, and there is no help here. So you might feel burdened, restricted in your self-expression. You don't feel that you can say out loud what you really think. But it might be just talking about some like a serious obligation you're gonna have to attend this year. And that could be related to your partner, that could be related to your father. You might actually feel provoked by them. They are telling you that, oh, you are just whiny, come on, let's go. It's all about standing up for yourself, really, standing up for your rights. And actually, that's also possible with the Saturn Sun opposition, that you want to be standing up for equality, for other people's rights, but you kind of get knocked back down all the time. For instance, if you are a teenager, actually it could show something to do with making a choice about who I want to be in the future, like choosing the right career for me, and that somehow stresses you out. It might be about planning out your future, but you don't feel supported by others, or you don't feel supported by your teachers. From a physical point of view, because the sun is the planet of vitality, we can feel weaker. We just might want to be sleeping. We want to be withdrawing ourselves from social activities. And actually, this could even talk about somehow lack of motivation overall. It might be that you just don't find your self-worth overall. It might be that someone from the past is actually confronting you or haunting you. So it could talk about psychological as well as physical blockages as well. Saturn is also said to be the karmic death planet. So it might be that I want to start fresh and clean with something, but something is holding back. Something is holding me back, and actually it could be a person. Oppositions typically talk about relationships with others or overall the society, because Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius, right? And that talks about people, that talks about the networking, the friends. So physically, it could indicate weakness, exhaustion, lack of energy. Yeah, the heart can be actually weakened, so it could talk about being heartbroken by others as well. But this year, you watch out for your bones and teeth and skin. It actually could talk about like some skin infections also, which needs to be dealing with, and you just don't feel yourself, you don't feel beautiful, and so forth. I feel like there is an element of taking seriously yourself, in a sense, taking seriously your vocational call. And I think there is this element of phoenix bird involved here, even though it's not Pluto. But because we become more mature, we become wiser overall. It's just all about committing to something, committing to yourself, committing to a life calling overall. Typically, this is, we're going to start seeing the impact maybe in 4 or 5 years' time, once Saturn will be actually sextiling your sun. Now, if you have got the Aquarius rising sign, meaning that Saturn will be conjuncting your descendant. Sorry, if you have got Leo rising sign, Saturn will be conjuncting your descendant between 12 to 22 degrees. Now, very briefly, it's marriage or divorce. Saturn can act like a glue in a relationship. It's all about responsibility, taking the relationship to a new height. So I usually say that we do need a good Saturn in relationship matters because it brings longevity. However, sometimes Saturn on the 7th house cusp can feel like a burden or too much responsibility in the relationship, and I'm not too sure if I can live up to the expectations. It could be actually a business partnership, which we might talk about, and it could bring even just overall relationship matters. Now, you know, like, let's say we want to get married with my partner, but I kind of feel like that somehow something always comes in the way. Now, Saturn rules your 6th house, so it could be the fact that, you know what, COVID situation, we've been planning to get married for 1.5, 2 years, we couldn't. Now, this Saturn actually can give you the chance, but it does want you to examine whether there is the love we had initially in the relationship. Sometimes the relationship can become stressful with Saturn around the 7th house cusp. It could actually show a choice which we need to make, or kind of like a breaking point. Something which karmically feel like a burden, and I don't know which way to go, how we will be resolving all these type of issues. But it could be, from a business perspective, it could really talk about some conflict with business partners, with competitors overall, or because this is the house of open enemies. So it's kind of like someone is actually stealing my business in a sense, maybe because a new subway is getting built, right? Or McDonald's is getting built nearby my business. And then what am I going to do? How I am going to be actually tackling this business threatening situation. Sometimes Saturn on the 7th house cusp can bring in jealousy, even the loss of the partner as well. But it wants you to work hard. It wants you to be actually patient and careful with yourself and with your partner as well, because that eventually will lead to success. Sometimes 7th house Saturn could talk about a little bit of a low budget, and that might be becoming a wedge in the relationship. With Saturn, there is no shortcuts. So it's either yes or no, but doing something in a slow way. Now, the huge changes of 2022 is the nodal shifts. And you are going to be having your north node in the 10th house and the south node in the 4th house, which is, of course, bringing in something to do with my private life and my professional life. Firstly, how will I bring that into balance? So north node in the 10th house, definitely there is that desire to be publicly recognized. There is that desire to be wanting to actually listen to, kind of like admired, creating something tangible because it's Taurus, kind of like making a business profitable, 10th house business, Taurus profit. It's about becoming ambitious about something, even if you feel subconsciously something is holding you back. Remember, Saturn is actually squaring also your midheaven. So some of the relationship challenges you might be having impacting your social life as well. So how will I bring the two into balance is going to be very huge in 2022. Now, if you are not so ambitious type, which is a fatal mistake for Leo rising, because you are the king of the jungle. You need to be self-employed. You do need to be somehow, you do need to be a leader in one way or another. Then this is going to get amplified by the Uranus North Node conjunction as well as Mars in 2022 July. So somehow life is gonna get you to be a leader, or gonna get you to actually take on a role which you might have been kind of scared of for a long time. If you are actually ambitious and you haven't received that break yet at work, this could be a period of time when you can secure your social positions, or maybe your business haven't been doing so great. Hopefully, this Uranus North Node conjunction in your 10th can actually help you stabilize your income also. But always ask yourself the question, how is my family life suffering from that? Because, sometimes with the South and in the 4th, we turn away from the 4th house matters. So we have got sometimes a little bit of a less focus on that. But also we can get stuck in that area of life as well. And I forget to focus on my social achievements overall. Also, it might be just a change of job for you. It might be a promotion or a new department somehow through professional matters. It might be just having some big ambitions which you want to be actually fulfilling, but this is definitely somehow changes in your social status overall. Now, this is also the parental axis. So it might be that somehow your parents are going to become a focal point. It's very possible that you are going to be taking care of your parents, or you playing a key role in, let's say, inviting your dad or mom into your house, somehow a primary like provider overall. And then you might feel a little bit like you might feel that you are an overachiever, or you might feel that you've got way too much on your plate. So South Node typically is about paying off some karmic debt. So in the 4th house, it's giving something back to your emotional well-being, as well as to your parents, remembering where I came from, who raised me, and then actually how can I help them? How can I help my relatives? So probably the relatives will be needing your help somehow. Also, it might be about selling a home because of relocation to new business ventures, or because of business, right? So selling a home, or maybe if you have been building a home for yourself, then it might be put on a little bit of a hold. Actually, that's also possible. Unfortunately, that could be because of health issues, okay? If you have got a business partner, it might be the business partner losing money out and they are not going to be able to live up to their ends, or they actually get sick and that is holding back some type of project. That's actually also very possible. Now, what's also interesting about 2022 is that the ruler of the South Node will be retrograde in the sign of Gemini. Mars will be spending 6 months in Gemini from 20th of August till mid-March 2023. So this is definitely a very important transit for us. Now, Mars will be in your 11th house. So Mars in the 11th house is very much about being inspired and inspiring others. So it's about meeting people. It's about doing the right networking overall. It's about receiving help, but Mars sometimes a little bit hot-headed or stubborn, and it doesn't want help. So I think the retrograde period is that why can you not accept help from others? Again, remember that Mars rules your 9th and 4th house. So in a very, very, very negative way, unfortunately, this could be talking about health issues of one of the parents as well. I'd like to point that out. Yeah, I'm trying to describe you the positives and the negatives. So hopefully, and it really depends on your natal chart as well. Okay, so please bear that in mind. I think Mars in Gemini in your 11th house can bring unusual ideas. You might want to be doing some type of investment because the 11th house is about spotting patterns. So that could be actually ideal for you. 11th house is money. So I want pay rise. I want money from the business. And Mars can give the drive there to drive the business forward, coming up with new ideas. But probably it says that you need a little bit of a demographic research as well. You might actually become interested in astrology or quantum physics or how things are connected. Or finding ways of, I don't know, bringing tailoring together with, I don't know, art, right? So it can make you quite creative as well. I think Mars, from a negative perspective in the 11th, can talk about how much social gatherings I do. Is it a little bit too much? And I'm kind of getting lost in all those fun environments, and then I'm not paying enough attention to my family. So that could be one thing. Or your drive actually kind of creates a wedge with your friendships, and the friends want like that, I don't know, you just all about money, chasing money, business, and you have no time for them. You can become very demanding in friendships, very demanding in social settings. You might even go out to the street and then you are going to initiate some type of riots and all those type of things. 11th house for me is something to do with the higher knowledge. So because it's an Aquarian house at the end of the day. So Mars is kind of like here having those downloads, kind of like a little bit of a spiritual downloads. It might be that you want to be starting something on internet. This could be actually a brilliant time. But during the retrograde period, things might slow down. Maybe your computer breaks. Maybe you're going to have to buy a computer. So it's good to become a social butterfly because you can actually attract younger generations, youth overall. But sometimes it is a little bit of a problem as well because it can take your attention away from things. Also watch out for how much you are influenced by your friends, because maybe their initiatives does not necessarily go together with your own motives. So that might be actually important for you. By the way, the year will be starting with a Venus retrograde. It's going to be happening on 19th of December in conjunction to Pluto on 26 degrees. Venus enters the sign on the 5th of November and will be leaving at the end of January. So probably you will be feeling this impact till mid-February. And this retrograde happens in your 6th house. Now, hopefully, I mean, on one hand, it talks about the fact that, you know, do I love my job? Do I not love my job? Do I enjoy socializing with the co-workers or not so much? It could actually bring you something to do with a love affair as well at workplace. But because Venus rules your 3rd and the 10th house, in my opinion, it's very much about how much I enjoy the job. Do I have got the routine I need in my life, or do I get enough attention? Do they spot my talent, right? Do I get the right admiration or recognition, reward for all the hard work I do? So that is a possibility with Venus being retrograde. From another hand, please, during Venus retrograde in your 6th house, just watch out for your kidney, your skin problems. Watch out for anything to do with teeth, bones, spine-related matters. It could actually talk about that you are overburdened. And if that's the case, Venus retrograde in your 6th will signal through physical issues within your body. So this Venus is all about starting a healthy living plan, in a sense. Ask yourself the question, what do you enjoy doing? Is that swimming? Is that walking? Is that having a dog? And if you want to be having a dog, buy one, because Venus is all about love and kind of like entertainment. 6th house is all about animals. So loving pets and animals is actually possible, and they might give you some type of entertainment, and they'll also help you with your routine as well. Also, 6th house is any type of medical fields, really. So you might start enjoying doing some type of therapies. It might be about studying something about medical fields. It might be just wanting to be a service at others, helping others, and you might find some type of enjoyment in there. From a negative perspective, Venus is very much about, in the 6th house, being a little bit lazy, not wanting to work. So how I am going to balance out work as well as having a little bit of a fun. With Venus, if you are on a diet, watch out, because you can go off your diet and then you can start putting on weight. Venus rules anything to do with sweets, luxurious items, right? So it can be a little bit of a danger. Your organization skills can fall apart. So you might have been very organized, and then you're going to have to go back on your paperwork, on contracts, and stuff like that. And then you realize how many mistakes actually we made there. And it can also indicate that your pet might get a little bit sick. And it could be just from the fact that you get scratched or bitten by your pet. And the reason why I'm actually giggling is because Caramel is right here next to me. And he's very gently, though, but biting my fingers. However, yeah, I don't have Capricorn on the 6th house, guys, but I just find it funny. Ugye, Caramel? Yo, get it. Let me show you in the camera. Get it. Yeah, so here is my doggy, and then he wants plenty of affection, and yeah, he loves biting. Do you? Okay, let's go because I'm working, okay? So sorry about that, but he wouldn't calm down anyway, surely. Okay, so, but Venus in Capricorn in the 6th house could talk about things like falling in love with your work. And it can become work. And then, because you might want your brain to be occupied somehow. So just think about whether I'm trying to run away from something or I'm trying to overcompensate here. Because at the end of the day, Venus is all about enjoyment and luxury. It is okay if it's all about having a goal which you want to achieve. In that case, I think it's okay. But if you are trying to run away from something, then, you know, it can be a sign of depression too. Another major impact of 2022 is Jupiter going into your 8th house and then the 9th house after. Now, Is it Jupiter's favorite placement? Not so much, being in the 8th house. But it also has got positive manifestations. It could talk about the joint resources being increased, or your partner's money is being increased. Or it could actually talk about a very fortunate marriage overall. It could talk about hot and passionate sex with your partner, and actually this could even lead to marriage, to having a family. So that's actually also possible. Now, one of the reasons why it's possible, because Jupiter also rules your 5th house, which is all about children, kind of like giving birth to a creative project. And now that creative project could be about a home environment. 8th house is the 4th from the 5th. So the building a family nest is actually very possible, but the 5th house is the 2nd from the 4th, so making money from home. So it could actually indicate inheritance, and you will be, let's say, selling a property, and that gives you some type of financial freedom in a sense. It could also indicate things like investments, and there is a guardian angel sitting on your shoulder. So it might bring up a question like, do I want to leave my investment where it is? Do I want to take that out? What do I want to invest into? And so forth. You might be having some lucks with tax rebate. You might not be expecting money coming back. Also, Jupiter will be conjuncting Neptune. And I predicted this at the beginning of the year that the oil prices will go up. I think I made that video in March. Petrol, oil, look at it, how high. It is a record high, and I don't think it's the beginning. So if you want to be investing into that, you might want to be actually considering it. You might want actually to build a house and you need loan. Actually, Jupiter can grant you that in the 8th house. But from a psychological perspective, this is very much about healing psychologically. Kind of like having a little bit of a positive vision, digging deeper where those positivities are lying within yourself. And it could actually indicate a more intimate relationship as well with your partner. And maybe that's through children, maybe that's through plenty of funds, maybe it's through plenty of travels, especially when Jupiter goes into your 9th house, which is the house of travel, which is all about wanting to have as much experience as we can. It's all about somehow the mental faculties are very active in your brain. It might be about that you want to be studying something. You might want to be joining a spiritual group, and that is going to be giving you so much of an explanation on a deeper level why certain problems you are having are, let's say, keep occurring in your life. So Jupiter shifting from the 8th to the 9th house. And eventually it might be that, you know what, eventually I want to be this preacher. I want to be this teacher myself. I want to be actually studying about it more so that I can eventually change a career. Remember that your North Node is actually in the 10th house. It could be about relocation as well. South Node in the 4th, Jupiter in the 9th. So getting to know different cultural backgrounds, working more with foreigners, or working actually online, connecting with foreigners, or even working for an international company. That's actually very possible. I think Jupiter in your 9th is all about awakening the inner God within yourself, being a lot more connected to your higher self. And the higher self is all about gaining more knowledge about yourself. And Leo rising, that's your ultimate goal in this incarnation, to become who you want to become. So keep that on the forefront. Now, you have a very busy year ahead. I hope this video helps you to plan some bits and bobs out. During the year in 2022, I will be making more videos. I am currently making weekly videos on the subscription on AstroViktor.com, but I will be posting sign changes here as well about the lunations and so forth. So I hope to see you on my channel in 2022 as well. Thank you, everyone, and see you shortly. Bye-bye.